Hi everyone, my name is Szilvia. I'm one of the mental health therapists at Wright State's Counseling and Wellness Services. I wanted to do a quick mental health check-in, see how folks are doing, maybe provide some education on things that we might be experiencing given all the stressors that are going on, and do some education on coping skills and resources. Just wanted to share a little bit about me for those that don't know me. Like I said, my name is Szilvia. I was born and raised in Debrecen, Magyarország, or Hungary. I'm actually a graduate of Wright State and started working at the counseling center in 2018. My favorite coping skills is deep breathing and positive self-talk, as I can be a rather anxious person. And my favorite self-care activities are hiking and practicing yoga. So right now it's supposed to be exciting time. We're almost into fall where it's back to school, and that should be a time of excitement. However, there is just several major stressors going on in the world right now. And so I just wanted to talk real quick about the two major areas, which one being COVID-19 and all of the implications that that has, especially for international students' daily functioning. The impact on visas, it just seems like information's changing very rapidly, and probably we can continue to expect that to shift and change over the course of the summer, which is very, very nerve-wracking for folks, right? Like, how is this going to affect where I live? What if I've already purchased a car for the year? If we do go to all remote classes, what about the time differences, access to internet and other equipment that would make it really, really hard to do remote learning from someone's home country. The other major stressor that's going on is the ongoing daily experiences of racism and oppression for folks that identify with a minority status. So if you identify as Black, person of color, like I said, any minority status, there is lots of racism that is still going on in this country, although a lot of white folks would like to pretend like it's not. But racism is very much alive in the United States. And so those interactions where, anyone that's listening to this, you could be experiencing these from peers at Wright State, even sadder faculty and staff. So those daily occurrences of, wow, my interactions are being compromised because of the color of my skin, those events and stressors cannot be minimized in terms of how are they affecting my mental health functioning. So let's talk a little bit about symptoms, and I'm using quotes because these are very normal and to be expected responses, reactions to those major stressors that I just talked about, the COVID and the ongoing continued racism throughout this country. So anxiety is a big fancy word for worry. And like I said, we have a lot to worry about right now, especially international students. And so the symptoms of anxiety are frequent excessive worry, can't stop thinking about the worry. And then what comes a result of all the worry is muscle tension, right? So I'm carrying a lot of tension throughout my body all day because we'll get to the flight or fight in a second. But so a lot of muscle tension, irritability, restlessness, difficulty sleeping can arise, which then makes me tired the next day, which ultimately affects a student's ability to concentrate, which is a hallmark or a very, key feature of being able to be a productive student, is to be able to concentrate. So when we have enough things to worry about, because the mind and the body is very much connected, ultimately the flight or fight response can get activated, which was great when we were living thousands of years ago, when we had very different threats, except the built-in biological benefits of a panic attack, such as increased heart rate, which is actually blood is being pumped throughout the body so I can throw punches or run away from something that's about to hurt me. Sweating, which is our body's way of air conditioning or cooling itself off. Racing thoughts is actually risk calculation. Can I get away from this person? Where am I going to go? How fast can I get there? Right? So all these symptoms of a panic attack are actually my body's way of trying to help me fight off a threat, except status changes to my visa, not knowing what's going to happen next week, maybe somebody's making racist comments to me. These are not things that we can punch or run away from. And so it very much, like I said, these daily experiences affect one's mental health functioning. The opposite side of the coin of anxiety or worry is depression or sadness. So opposite sides of the same coin, often these two things are holding hands, and there's some symptom overlap. So depression is lots of sad mood throughout the day, not wanting to go out and do things I used to like to do. And then as we continue down the symptom list, here's difficulty concentrating again, right? Because if I'm not eating or sleeping well and I'm not, getting enough rest, then how am I supposed to yet again be able to concentrate? And then another hallmark of depression is thoughts of suicide. So red flags for either you or a peer, if you hear someone speaking about, or if you yourself are experiencing hopelessness, helplessness, feelings of worthlessness, that's likely a red flag that we're not in a good place. If you are making comments or hear someone else make comments about, everyone would just be better off if I wasn't alive, or, I can't take this pain anymore. Again, red flags. We're saying, well, maybe I should just jump off a cliff. Red flags. Please, please, please reach out for help, either to someone at UCIE or someone at the counseling center. Let's talk a smidge about coping skills. So how can I get through these things, the anxiety, the depression? The name of the game with managing worry is calm. So I can't be revved up, anxious, and calm at the same time. It has to be one or the other. So relaxation coping skills are wonderful to manage anxiety. For depression, doing, which can be very hard, right? Because if I've got a loss of motivation, don't want to do anything, then it's really hard to go exercise or to go do something with someone. That's when sometimes having a buddy can be helpful, right? So reaching out to somebody for support. So these are just some coping skills to help us manage worry and sadness. Alternatively, please, please, please reach out to counseling and wellness. So we are continuing to offer services remotely. As you can see, I'm coming to you live from my house. At any moment, my dog and cat, they're liable to make some noises, although they haven't so far. The only requirement for students to get services, you must be a registered student. And a quick shout out to crisis services. So if you're not feeling ready to engage in full, therapy services, you can call the center, meet with somebody on a one-time basis. There's no charge ever for crisis services. Otherwise, we do have a flat fee for the semester of $20. Although please don't let finances be a barrier. If you or someone you know is needing to talk, we'll figure out the finances. Mental health and you as a person is way more important, and we'll figure out the money part. When we are in the office, we are located in the Union in 053 behind kind of the food pantry, and our hours, even remotely, are Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 5. Now, to get services linked with us, like I said, just call the 775-3407. Leave your name, number. Support staff will call you back to get you scheduled with a clinician. Now, please, please, please just make sure that your privacy settings are set to accept private calls, because we are calling from blocked private numbers since we're calling from home, since we're not in the office. So again, just call 775-3407, leave your name and number, and we will call you back and get you linked up. Alternative resources. So if someone doesn't feel comfortable, and goodness knows with international students, there can be a lot of fear around confidentiality, right? So no information about you or the services that you receive at the counseling center leaves without your written consent. But that can be another barrier. Finances, confidentiality. Will anybody back home find out that, I'm getting help? Because in most countries, Hungary included, therapy is for crazy people. And I'm here to tell you that that is not the case. And with all these stressors that we have going on, please, please, please take advantage of these services if you are having any of those symptoms that I mentioned earlier. Alternatives to contacting us would be texting the crisis number at 741-741. There you would be texting confidentiality with a licensed mental health professional. Wright State will never find out about it. An alternative is the Rater Cares phone number, which I have listed for you. And these resources are also available on the Counseling and Wellness website. If you do call Rater Cares for any sort of assistance, they're 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 a day, or a year, my bad. So if you do call Rater Cares, we do get a report generated to us since you are a student, but that's just to make sure, coordination of care to make sure that you're going to be getting the help that you need. So just some things to keep in mind. Yeah, and I like just options. So another option, if someone's not feeling ready to reach out, is mental health apps on our smartphones. So if you just search for anxiety, depression, mood, download a couple of different apps. The ones I have listed are my favorite. Do not pay to subscribe to any of these apps. So the SAM, Mindfulness Coach, they're free all day long. No parts of it have to be subscribed to, but there are a couple of, like Headspace. I love that app, but you only get so many features with the free basic part. But and again, these apps and lots more are on our website. So if you need any other additional resources, please don't hesitate to visit our website. Please also keep in mind, a lot of times mental health stuff can manifest as physical symptoms. So if you're not somebody who usually has stomach aches or headaches, and you're noticing like, wow, my stomach's always hurting or my head's constantly pounding, please don't hesitate to reach out, even though that sounds like I might have something physical going on. But oftentimes mental health does present as physical ailments. So that is a picture of my pup Zulu, who was very good today and did not make any noise while we were chatting. So I just wanted to thank everybody for joining me on this little mental health check-in. And as I mentioned, please, please, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at 775-3407 if we can help in any way. Hope everybody has a good rest of their day. And again, thanks for joining me.